What's going on, 208? Justin, it's good to see you. Lots to talk about. More preseason games. We got a little Chicago Bear action as they play right now, and our breakdown. And we're going to surprise you on our running back breakdown. We're going to do it right now. We're going to get into it live. Let's roll. Let's get going. Buckle in. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Do all the things you have to do. And let's get into it right now. Justin, how we doing, my friend?
Good. It was a long week. Had just a lot of football practice, just going out there being in the sun all day. So it's nice to have a little bit of a slow day. So that's nice.
Yeah, 2 days been going. We wrapped those up. School starts for a lot of schools this next week, and we're cruising. So let's get into it. Oh, I think Justin, there you are. You're froze a little second, but we got you back. Yeah, we got you back. Let's get into a little bit of news, and hopefully we'll get Chance in before too long. We're hoping he's going to show up. It's always good to have a show with Chance. But again, some news right now.
What's going on?
What do you got for us? I mean, there's all these games going, and man, one thing after another. But what do you got hooked up for us this evening?
It definitely feels like news overload a little bit, especially with these injuries trying to creep up with everything. Jordan Love has a thumb injury on his non-throwing hand. Malik Neighbors hamstring, it feels like he has a practice in 11 days. I don't know what's going to happen like that. It seems like Najee Harris is going to start on the NFI list, so that's really good news for Hampton, but also they lost Rashawn Slater, so that'll be kind of interesting. Joe Mixon is the guy we'll talk about today. Again, we'll go more into depth with him and his walking boot, all that stuff. Some positive news, 2 running backs got paid. Kyron, James Cook, I think that you'll see a boost in their stock as these drafts start to pick up these next 2 weeks, especially this week and next week will be where most drafts are at redraft wise. But I think they'll start going a lot higher, so make sure you guys pay attention to that. TreVeyon Henderson, Matt, what do we think about him? Good night.
I was just in a draft last night. I got him in the 4th round. I got a steal on him. I'm telling you, TreVeyon Henderson. We've been talking about him all offseason.
Yeah, he looks scary. His backfield mate from Ohio State, he won't face formal charges, so he'll report to the team soon. So we'll kind of see how that goes if he does get a suspension. If he doesn't, AJ Brown's been a little bit injured, a little bit busted up. Terry McLaurin finally got activated off PUB. So maybe we'll see him back. Again, somebody that we talked about in our wide receiver rankings to kind of avoid. Stafford, again, it just seems like a big question mark. It just seems like we're waiting for the Twitter news or the X news to break where they're like, okay, he's out. We're going to put him on PUB. He's going to be out for 8 weeks, and they're going to roll with Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll see what happens. Travis Hunter's injured. Hopefully he gets back. Oh, geez. I mean, there's just so much news. Devon Achane is beat up a little bit. Ken Walker has been dealing with some foot soreness. If you got to watch the Chargers preseason game, there was a pretty violent hit on Quentin Johnston where he got knocked out. So it showed some pretty bad results of that called fencing. You see it a lot in MMA where they kind of tense their arms up. So I'm sure he'll be out for a little bit. I think me and Matt saw this a lot in Dynasty, but Isaiah Bond, I think he in most me and Matt's Dynasty League drafts, and he was not drafted, just to be clear. But he just signed with the Browns, which makes total sense. Like, that's a Browns signing. So he signed. Again, I don't know how much weight he'll carry in redraft, but if you are in Dynasty, maybe he's worth a flyer. John Mechie got traded today, so that's pretty cool with the Eagles. It'll be interesting to see if he can overtake Jahan Dotson. But I don't know. I don't think he'll be drafted in redraft leagues. And I think the biggest news, especially for our episode, is Bill, right? That's what they nicknamed him. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. It seems like he might be the guy in this backfield. Ryan Robinson is getting shopped. It seems like a couple running backs are getting shopped a little bit right now with Ryan Robinson, Travis Etienne, and Breece Hall. I think they're all getting kind of looked at, getting kind of shown in the preseason what they are. So just be paying attention to that. If you are in redraft leagues, right now his ADP is like 259, I think, Matt, is what we said. There is no way, if you could get him with your last pick, even your second to third last pick, he needs to be drafted.
Yeah, certainly pick him up. I do want to bring up a little bit of news about Neighbors. Neighbors sitting out, really hasn't practiced for like 11 days. And it's been different things. He's sitting out for back soreness, nothing related to the toe. I'm not worried about him. I was able to pick Neighbors and London in the 1-2 turn last night in a garage league that we did. So I was super excited about that. I am not worried about Neighbors at all. And then I turned around and got, I was able to get, Hendo in the 4th. So it was great.
Who was your third round pick, Matt?
I got Bucky. So garage league.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got a really, really good start. I did miss out on, I got Dak as a quarterback out, and I missed on Penix. Immediately, somebody threw a trade out for me. They wanted Harvey, which is who I got as well later. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I'll hold on to Dak and old man Dak and see where he goes. But anyway, that's our news. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're just jumping right into this. It is middle of football season. We're going full bore, and we're going to get right into our meat and potatoes of this section, and it's our running back rankings.
Let's go. Heck yeah.
So again, this is what Justin and I put together, and Chance had dabbled into this as well. So we're going to kind of just jump into it. And again, this was last year's rankings are finished, and you can see the names. If you've studied fantasy football at all, this is half PPR, which is most of the leagues are. Barkley I don't think really surprised anybody. We were kind of called it last year. Barkley would finish 1, and really those top 4 no-brainers. I don't think you'll see Josh Jacobs, who finished 5th last year, be anywhere near that. But there's really nothing in here that surprises me from last year. You can see Joe Mixon here. He is not going to be a top tier running back this year. So get him off of your list, and you'll see that. Interesting, Breece Hall. We were pretty high on Breece Hall, and he finished RB 17th last year. So it's like, we kind of missed out on him. And I think we're going to talk about him a little bit later, but we're kind of thinking more of the same for him. But we'll see. Even though we might have him ranked a little higher, we just don't know. Najee Harris has finished 20. Again, I don't think he's going to finish anywhere near towards that because of Hampton. Rico Dowdle, forget about it. Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet is going to be a guy that you're going to want to have, at least in the back out. Ramondre Stevenson, forget about it. Anyway, Kareem Hunt, forget about it, rounding off the top 30, and Brian Johnson Jr., 29-30. Forget about those guys. There's other guys we're going to let you guys in on to make sure that you get a steal here. So let's get right into it. This is our 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are no-brainer. Now, I see McCaffrey there, and I'm not as high on McCaffrey as Justin is. You want to talk about McCaffrey? Let's do it. This is going to be a little bit of a battle.
Listen, all the running backs for San Francisco are hurt. I just it's a gamble. I am very much, I guess, players like Christian McCaffrey, where it's like it feels like he either gets hurt or finishes as the running back 1. That's just how he is. That's just how he works. The last few years last year was 68, then 1, then 2, 38, 53, then 1 and 2. If I'm not in leagues to take 5th or 3rd, I'm in leagues to win. Him and Ashton Genty, I think, because I feel like Genty, his ADP is going to be down. I think Christian's will be down. I think theirs are very fluctuating, just depending on who you're drafting with. But again, Christian, he's one of the few guys. I think there's probably maybe 4 or 5 guys realistically running back wise that you could see finishing as RB1. And he's one of them because he catches the ball. They run a really good run scheme. He's gotten a lot of positive juice in camp where he looks good. I feel like last year, I think Matt really talked about it a lot. And I think he's been the leader of this. If they are having a slow training camp or not participating in training camp, kind of avoid him. And I think Matt was kind of on that last year. But from all things camp wise, if I can get him in the second round, which I think sometimes he will. I think he'll get Genty sometimes in the second round. I think you should pull the trigger on him no matter what. He's going to catch the ball a ton. He's just a good running back. I still have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah, we did a mock draft not that long ago where he was falling to the backside of 2 to 2, 3, right? And now he just worked his way up into that. Man, I've seen him mid first round. Again, we're talking CMC. Back into that first round for sure. And all reports that he's healthy. That's great. I wish I could pair him with another running back. I think that's what I would do. That San Francisco offense is really just a three-headed monster, in my opinion. It's going to be McCaffrey as long as he's healthy, Kittle, and then Ricky Parasol, and that's pretty much going to be it. So, Any one of those three is kind of what you're shooting for. I'm probably fading McCaffrey as much as I can. I think sometimes he goes too early. Other people want to grab him, although in other leagues, understand he bit people so hard last year. He's falling. So understand, if you can get him at the end of round 1 or early round 2 to mid, it's okay. And pairing with another running back, you're in good shape. So,
correct.
I want to talk about Genty just a little bit because I think Robinson and Gibbs is a no-brainer. That's a duh. But Genty, there was so much in that first preseason game. It's like, wow, he didn't look good, and he comes out yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, and just trucks a San Francisco 49er linebacker, and it's like, yep, stock is all back on the rise here. Justin, your thoughts?
Yeah, he broke a ton of tackles. I think that one singular thing about this first 4 is they all catch the ball really well. Like Bijan, Bijan, like as we've seen, at least I've seen in X at training camp, he is running a crap ton of wheels out of the backfield, and Penix is just throwing it to him. It's a mismatch no matter what. Gibbs is going to catch the ball. McCaffrey's going to catch the ball. Genty's going to catch the ball. Like, all these guys have really high floors because they should all have at least 500 yards receiving, 400 yards receiving, which is huge, especially if you're half PPR, full PPR. It's just a cheat code. It's very similar to quarterbacks running. Like, they're getting extra yards. They're not just a running back; they're a weapon because they're not just first and second down guys, but you can leave them on the ground or leave them on the field in third. So,
agreed. Moving on to 5, 6, and 7. Here you go. We have Barkley, Irving, Achane, and Brown. And again, I think a lot of these guys, really, Barkley is your number 5. Let's talk a little bit about Barkley, Justin, why we might have him at 5 here and just falling behind those other 4, where he finished RB1 last year.
Yeah, he was the runaway dude in fantasy. If you had him, I bet whoever drafted him, I bet 60% of them won championships just because he was that much of a dominator. I mean, 355 points in PPR. Like, he's just really good. He caught the ball decently well. He had 33 receptions for 278 yards. You'd like to see the touchdowns go up, but I don't ever think he'll have a ton of touchdowns because Jalen Hurts will take, again, a lot of the red zone stuff. Again, he still had 2,005 yards. Like, I don't know how much more you can ask for. Like, again, it's the carries. It's the total touches, not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs. I think we've talked about that number a couple times where it's upwards of like 450 touches. Again, you always see a regression. It'll be interesting if he defies that. He is in a very special situation where he still is 28. He is behind a good offensive line. Again, they did get a new OC, so that's where I'm kind of tempered my expectations a little bit with him.
Yep, certainly agree. He's still a top 5. You have to pay a first round pick for him. Again, these top 5 probably interchangeable. Don't stress too much on it. Take these guys in the first round. It's the right move. I am a big fan of Bucky. I think Bucky's going to continue to do what he did last year, regardless of White in the backfield. It's the Bucky show back there. He's getting the carries. He's getting the catches. I am a big Bucky fan. I picked him up and in the round 3 in a garage league, in a really good league. You're going to have to get him in round 2. But I really like Bucky. I'm all in. If he's your RB1 because you want wide receiver, I'm all in. Spend that second round. Again, if he falls anywhere near mid to second round or late round, second round, anywhere behind that, he's a steal. Achane is one that I want to talk a little bit about this year. You still have to spend a second round for him. Are we, give us our thoughts here on why Achane here might be here at 7.
I like Achane. I feel like it keeps like fluctuating a little bit for me with him. Like, he is victim weight, but like he catches a ton of balls. He had 87 targets and 78 catches. Like, that is ridiculous. I know there was Waddle, Tyreek were banged up a little bit, but like as a running back to do that, he finished PPR wise as the number 5 guy. He only had 203 attempts. He didn't even have 1,000 yards rushing. He had a 4.5 rush average per carry. He only had 6 touchdowns on the ground, but he had 6 touchdowns carried, like catching the ball. Like, again, super high floor because he's going to catch the ball. That offense, they did lose a huge target in Jonnu Smith. I feel like Tyreek will get traded sometime this offseason. So it's kind of like Matt alluded to with San Francisco, where this realistically could be a two-headed monster with Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle. I'm still pretty high on him. I think me and Matt on this tier might be a little bit opposites, where I'm super high on Achane and Brown. I think Matt probably is too on Brown. And I'm super low on Irving and Barkley. My reservations about Irving is they have 3, I think, pretty good running backs. I think Sean Tucker is going to get a lot of run this year and take some of those first and second down carries from Irving.
Yeah, I see these guys are very, very super close. So understand where Achane's at. So who is there? We have Hill, and you already alluded to it. Hill's kind of on the way out. I think Waddle's going to get a lot of looks. You lose, and I wanted to pull it up while you were talking. Smith had 111 targets, right? So there's 111 targets that need to get fed somewhere. Jalen Wright might get those. Who knows? I don't know if they're going to really throw to their other tight end, right? Who is their tight end, right? Nobody's like, who is it?
It's Darren Waller.
It's Darren Waller, right? Who's 175 years old. So we don't know what he is. And the way Tua plays his game, look, Tua cannot afford to take another hit. He cannot afford to hold on the ball and push the ball downfield. So the way you keep Tua on the field is you get the ball out of his hands. So you do that by quick passes to Achane, quick passes to Waddle, Jalen Wright. Ollie Gordon looks good, right? He's probably going to be your goal line back. He's looking good. I think he actually looks better than Jalen Wright, in my opinion. But Achane is easily a top 5 guy. We have him at 7, but he could be a top 5 guy is what I'm saying. Don't shy away from Achane at all. So even though he's a little bit lighter. Moving on to Chase Brown. I think we both really like Chase Brown. He is the running back of this high-powered offense. And if you've watched any other episodes, look, Cincinnati Bengals defense is not good. They need to score 50 points, right, to win. And the old adage goes, we've talked about it forever. If you score 50, and as long as, your opponent scores 49, you win. So they're going to be a ton of shootouts trying to score just and win games by pure offensive power. So anything to add?
Do you know who Chase Brown reminds me of? And this might be right out of left field, but maybe Matt can kind of agree or disagree. He, not that he's boring, but he's like Matt Forte back in the day. Like, yeah. He's gonna have 1,100 yards. He's gonna get 60 targets. Like, I think Matt Forte is probably one of the most underrated backs to play the game, at least in my lifetime. Like going in high school and like watching him, like he was just so consistent. Like it was never like lead the league in rushing or be like all pro, but he was going to Pro Bowls. Like he was a very consistent back, kind of like Joe Mixon was a little bit with Cincinnati before Chase. But Chase Brown is he's just rock solid. Like, you're gonna get with him. Like if you're like realistically, if you're gonna take a shot on CMC, like and paired him with Chase Brown, I don't hate that build because you're gonna get something rock solid behind Christian McCaffrey. So
yeah, look, here's a good pick here. You may be able to get maybe you are in that mid, depending on how your draft goes, and I don't know, maybe St. Brown falls to you, right? Or whatever, you grab St. Brown and then you get Chase Brown. Right? That's a good 1-2 start. Just understand how your draft is. Chase Brown's going to fall in the second here for sure, and I bet in some leagues he'll fall to the third. So these first 12 guys, no brainers to put on your team. Moving on 9 through 12, we have Williams, Henry, Taylor, and Jacobs. Kyren Williams, I love Kyren Williams. He is going to get a billion touches, it feels like, in a Sean McVay offense. It's easy. He's going to get all the work unless he gets injured, but you never draft because of injury. He could be a top 5 back in the league. You just don't know. It depends on if Stafford stays healthy a little bit, but love Williams.
I'm really happy he got paid. I really wanted to see him get paid. He just scores a ton of touchdowns. It's just that he had 26 touchdowns in the last 2 years. Like they just gave him the ball at the goal line. So I think they'll keep doing that. I think the Blake Corum and Jarquez Hunter experience for dynasty owners is probably a little bit faded at this rate. I think Kyron's gonna keep trucking along. He's only 24 years old, so he's consistent, just like Chase is.
And I do think he's currently going in the third. I think he's being slept on. He should be easy second round, in my opinion.
I think people were waiting for that contract for him and James Cook. So again, I think both those guys will go up in ADP these next 2 weeks.
Let's talk a little bit about King Henry, Justin, and his workload. The ageless wonder seems to get it done. We do have him as a top 10 back. We might be down on him a little bit compared to others, but is this the year he falls off?
It just feels like Saquon, like the O-line, the way the Ravens do things. Like, I don't know. I just don't know if Father Time is ever going to get him. Consensus wise, he in the big three, he's number 7. So we're a little bit behind. I think for the most part, why we're behind is probably because me and Matt played more half PPR. If you're in standard leagues, he'd probably be a little bit higher. But I just feel like it's inevitable, but I just don't know when that inevitable is. It just feels like he's like the Tom Brady, where it's like, is his production ever going to fall off?
Since 2020, he's had nearly, on average, 300 carries a game.
Yep.
On average. So that's like, wow. So we're going to be 5 years into it. Dang, that's a lot of carries. And we'll see how he goes. It's hard to bet against him. I think you just bet on him until the wheels fall off is probably the correct way to do it. So
Correct.
JT at 11. I'm not high on JT at all. I don't like any part of this offense. We still are unsure who the quarterback's going to be there. Is it AR5? And yeah, I'll take my lick on AR5. Last year I told you he was the guy, and he wasn't at all. Oh geez. And that was my big red stamp there. But I don't know. He's probably going to be okay. I don't want to spend a second round on JT at all. I like the other guys better. Everybody above him, and there's some guys below him that I actually like. But I'm away from JT if I have to be, if I can.
Yeah. I got to get a pretty good, like a 50% off on him. I've traded him a lot of shares of him away in Dynasty, trying to get away from that, trying to pivot off. He has a lot of usage. He's been banged up the last 2 out of the last 3 years. And just remember, I think I talked about this on one of our shows. Like his last 4 games where he just went crazy, like 10, 39, 27, 25. So I think that's still fresh in people's minds. So if people are going to take him in the second round, let him take him. The reason he did finish as a top 8 running back is those last 3 games, he was just popping off against really bad defenses.
Yeah, 300 carries and 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns, right? In what it seems like a down season, but they had no other offense. They couldn't throw the ball. So this year looking to be a little bit different. Josh Jacobs, interestingly enough, with the Packers here, we got him at 12, rounding out our top 12. Justin, what are your thoughts here on the Packers in general?
I think their offense is good, but it just feels like everybody at the Green Bay Packers has made it paper mache. So I'm just like getting kind of stressed. Jordan Love is the engine of that offense. And like once he went out, it felt like it was the Josh Jacobs show. So like with this thumb injury, maybe they lean on Jacobs a little bit more. They have been gassing up Marshawn Lloyd quite a bit in the past couple of weeks. They said they say they really like him. By consensus in the pro guys, he's still a top 10 guy. He's number 9 right now. I think I had him a little bit higher than Matt. We were one part away at 13 and 14. But again, I think they do lean on him just because, again, Jordan Love's thumb is hurt. So I think he could fade at the end of the season. So he could be a prime trade away candidate when you get to the middle of the season.
Yeah, I think he'll start strong. Ironically, if you're into superstitions, in odd years, he has not played full set of games. So we are in 2025. Take that with a grain of salt. But last year, again, he did finish, like I said, 15 touchdowns, 1,300 yards, and had 301 carries. A lot of carries, a lot of tread on the tires. Mr. kind of consistency. But I still feel like this offense is still trying to feel who they are. I mean, they've gone through 5 wide receivers and still don't have a wide receiver 1. And maybe that changes with Golden. I don't know. But I think Lloyd absolutely will get in the mix as well. They need to see what they got there for sure. So moving out of the top 12, 13 through 16. So Cook, Walker, Hampton, and Hall. Cook, who just got paid. Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
He did sit out a little bit. Matter of fact, that first game, suited up and decided to say, hey, I just don't want to go in. And then he gets paid the next day.
Yep.
So you have to spend a third-round pick on him. Are you spending a third-round pick on Cook this year?
I probably won't have any shares of Cook. He just seems like a less explosive version of Devon Achane. I just don't think he's going to replicate. He literally had 4 touchdowns the 2 years before, then had 16. And he barely broke 1,000 yards. He played in 16 games. I think they're gonna try Ray Davis a little bit. Who's their other back, Matt? Do you remember? I'm trying to think.
Junior, Gore Jr.
Oh, and they have Ty Johnson too, who's decent. So I think Ray Davis is gonna get a lot of those hard yards. I just don't like if he gets 16 touchdowns again. Like if we come back to this, like, all right, bad on me, but he's just not a guy that scores 60 touchdowns every year. It's just very weird. He had 18 total. That's the only reason he was a top 8 guy.
It feels like so. Doesn't it feel like he's one of these players? And this is not to beat up Cook. We think he's a good player. I understand he's in the NFL, but it feels like he hasn't done much. Has one big season, says, "Hey, I want my money," gets paid, and then turn around and falls back to where he was. That's what it feels like's coming to me.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird that he got paid substantially more than Kyren when Kyren's done it for 2 years now and been consistent in a good offense. I don't see what James Cook's like his first year, like his first and second year, just not great. So we'll see what happens.
Yep, I think we're going to see a little more Ray Davis, like you said. Also, I think we're going to see a little more opportunity of Josh Allen throwing the ball, not only to Shakir, but to
Coleman.
I just forgot his name. Yeah, Coleman, right? They've been hyping up good. So anyway, I would recommend do not spend a third-round pick on Cook. Although we still like him at 13, if he falls, again, we're not saying we like players. We just don't like them at their ADP. So when we say we don't like them, no shares, people are taking them too early. That's why we don't like them. Third round for us is too early. Walker's an interesting one. I do want to put this out there. If you took, and I think I mentioned this earlier in another show, if you take Walker's stats and Sharp stats and put them together, it was something like a top 8 or top 9 running back, but they both got hurt. So that offense is still going to be good. I still think Milroe will take that quarterback position at some point, but who knows? Sam Darnold's still there, and they signed him to a hefty contract. I'm not a Sam Darnold fan. But so they're going to run the ball. The $1 million question for Walker is, can he stay healthy? Right? It's like, can we stay healthy? You got a 4th-round value on him. Justin, are you taking him?
Okay, this is my rationale here. Okay, guys, so stay with me. I would rather have 14 and 15 all day over at ADP right now. I just watch offensive line schemes sometimes because it's just fun to watch guards just absolutely kill defensive tackles, defensive ends. But their first round pick out of North Dakota State, Gray Zabel, guys, he's gonna be an all-pro. He is a scary left guard. He is a very good football player, scary football player, athletic, fast, strong, and Mike McDonald wants to run the ball. He is a Baltimore Ravens guy. He is very old school. They brought in Clay Kubiak, who is of the Shanahan tree. He knows how to run the ball. If Ken Walker is healthy, he will be a top 5 guy this year. Like, that's my bold take, whatever you want to call it. He is a talented back, a top 10 talent in this league at running back. Again, he just hasn't been healthy, as Matt has alluded to. In his first year, he had 228 carries, 1,050 yards, 4.6 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns. And then they went and drafted Zach Charbonnet, and it made me so mad because I like Zach Charbonnet. Whoever gets the run in this offense is going to be very good. And I really I don't want it to be split. Obviously, that's probably maybe what Seattle wants to save both of them. But Ken Walker could be a league winner this year. That's just how I feel about it. Just watching Gray Zabel, I'm not super high on the Seattle just because of the quarterback situation, but they have invested a lot of draft capital, whether it's both the tackles, the guard, into this Seattle offense. And Ken Walker is a talented running back.
Yep. Health will be his thing. Moving on to 15, Hampton. You can get Hampton's going at the 4th. I'm going to turn over Hampton to you, and I think we both agree on Hampton, but go ahead.
Yeah. Najee's not going to play the first 4 games. That's how it feels. That's what it looks like. Aaron Hampton's a monster. He has been gassed up by multiple people. I think he can catch the ball a little bit. First round rookies, running backs, I should specify, they just hit. And they want to run the ball. They're Greg Roman. He likes to run the ball. There hasn't been a lot of fantasy positives when it comes to running back finishes in Greg Roman's offense, but who else are they going to run the ball with? They signed Najee to a decent-sized contract. They drafted Amarian in the first round. I think he'll be good this year.
Look, it's this simple. It's Hampton. It's Hampton. It's Hampton. It's Hampton. It's Hampton this year. It's Hampton next year. It's going to be Hampton the year after that. Najee is about as consistent as you can get, and maybe they get him in. I think he is on a 1-year contract. I think
Yep.
I have to go back and look. So it's a 1-year contract, right? Enough to get Hampton getting going, but I am all about Hampton. Hampton. He's going to be the workhorse of this offense. They're run first. That's just what they do. Get Hampton. Hampton will move up to a 3rd round pick within the next couple of weeks. He's already climbing. I'm telling you, go ahead and get Hampton in the 4th right now. It's a steal, which is opposite of our next one. You're spending a 2nd for Breece Hall, and I'm just not. Have you watched any of the Jets preseason games?
No, I don't watch Jets football, man. It's atrocious.
It feels like they don't even want Justin Fields to throw the ball. It's like just run. I'm like, what are we doing? So I don't know. I'm just out on the Jets offense the more and more I get there, and I feel bad for Garrett Wilson. I'm a huge Garrett Wilson fan. I hope it changes, but that's offense. It's possible they could trade Breece Hall. It's totally possible. So I'm not spending a 2nd round pick on Breece Hall. It's terrible because he's so talented.
Correct. Yeah, I would love for him to get traded to the Cowboys. I think either 3 of those guys, Brian Robinson, Breece, or Travis Etienne, I think they'd all do decently well in Dallas. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the trade deadline goes. You usually see those trades pop up like after cuts. So after this 3rd preseason game, you'll see a little bit of maybe trades going around. You saw one today, so that trade activity will pick up. Again, Braylon Allen is a young running back who they really like.
He's big and he's young. He's still got a lot of years left.
They like Isaiah Davis too. Like they just sound like they want to run all these backs. So I just don't understand it. Like if I saw Breece, I'm like, yeah, that guy's getting 350 touches. We're gonna figure it out. So
yeah, agreed. All right, moving on, 17 through 20. We'll pick up the pace here a little bit. 30 minutes in. Again, if you have a question about your draft, maybe you just did a draft, and maybe you want to like, hey, I got a question. Did I do this right? Or maybe you got one coming up this week sometime or next weekend. Bring up the question. We want to help you answer your questions to win your league. Like I said, I had a question earlier and had to like kind of think about it, like, do I make this trade or not? So 17 through 20, we have Hubbard, Kamara, Connor, and Henderson. Hubbard, a 4th rounder, Kamara, 4th rounder, Connor, a 5th rounder, and Henderson, a 4th rounder. Give me your thoughts on Hubbard here in this Carolina offense.
Yeah, I don't want this to come off the wrong way. This is just a boring pick. Like if you do go wide receiver heavy and he's your first running back, I don't hate it because he's going to be pretty consistent. The only thing that does stress me out a little bit is the Rico Dowdle stuff. Rico's a 1,000-yard rusher. He's decent. They sound like they're like, hey, we have 2 starting running backs, which is coach speak. A lot of people say it. A lot of head coaches say it. Again, I think they're both going to get used, and I think this offense is going to throw the ball a lot more. This defense was one of the worst defenses in the league. They can defend the pass. I think this gives Bryce Young more upside to throw the ball, where they maybe run the ball less. We'll see how it goes. Again, Chuba had 54 targets, 43 receptions, but only 171 yards. So that was 3.17 yards per touch when he caught the ball. So not great through the air. I don't know if they have a third down running back on the roster. So we'll see what happens. Again, I don't have a ton of Chuba shares just because I like to get that running back in the first round, the ones that we talked about at the very first.
Yep, agreed. Passing on Hubbard, I 250 carries, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. I don't think we're going to repeat that. That's the most carries he's had in his career. So probably not pass. He's a pass for me. Probably also passing on Kamara, although I did draft him in a league later, 4th round. It was much later than the 4th round. I was able to pick him up in the 6th round, 5th or 6th round, just because he dropped. He is older, but he is he is the offense. Him and Olave currently. Saints are going to be behind a lot. They're going to have to throw the ball a ton. So
they're going to be. I don't know who the quarterback is. If you got to watch any of their game today, it was bad. It was not good.
It doesn't look good. Nothing looks good for the Saints. Come on, Kellen Moore, get him turned around. We've got high hopes for him for sure. I do want to talk about Connor and Hendo because I do like both of these. And we're going to save Henderson just for in a minute. But Connor is as old as he is. He's been pretty sturdy. You can pick him up in the 5th round, which I think is good value. I just want Trey Benson with him. If I can get Connor, give me Trey. What I'm hearing out of camp, and again, I'm not the one who what I hear and other people, media, whatever, are talking about is it's a 1A, 1B situation. They really want to get Benson involved. And I'm certainly okay with getting Connor in the 5th, especially if I went wide, 3 wide receivers and a running back, or maybe I got McBride or somewhere in there, right? And I can get Connor. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, he's just a little sporadic career-wise. So just pay attention to that. He doesn't play full seasons. That's just he never has. It's not his MO. So again, if you do pick CMC, probably don't pair him with James Conner.
Yep. And this kind of brings me to Henderson. 20 is insanely low for me for Henderson. And if I had to redo this again, I would put him clear up to close to where Cook is, Walker is. Henderson is going to be their guy. If you just watched a couple of preseason games, so I think you've got all your answers. Henderson's 4th round value is going to skyrocket. He's going to be a 3rd round pick here soon. I'm all in on Henderson. I was able to pick him up in the 4th round in a yesterday draft, which was so much fun. I got to hang out with all my friends and stuff like that, but just absolute blast. But Henderson is the guy in New England. Get as many shares as you can as possible. I'm telling you, he's going to blow up.
Yeah, I don't want to say this out loud, but man, I'm excited to watch the Patriots this year. They have 2 of my favorite, maybe 3 of my favorite young players in the NFL: Kyle Williams, Drake May, and Travion. Like that's going to be a fun offense. In one of my dynasty leagues, I have Bijan, Gibbs, and Travion. So like I have a really fun backfield. I saw this thing on X where it's like, can you get as much for Bijan as you could, or for Bijan as you could get for Travion right now in Dynasty? Because he is a rocket right now in value when it comes to Dynasty. And again, like Matt said, I would not be surprised in my next couple weeks that are going that he goes in the 2nd round. Like he is shooting up.
Yep, he is. Absolutely. Will be fun to watch too. So 21 through 24, Pacheco, Montgomery, Harvey, and Pollard. Pacheco is kind of steady Eddie here. Montgomery, understand Montgomery and Gibbs. People think they're a 1-2. They're different running backs. Montgomery is your short yardage, right? Run the ball. Gibbs is that, he pass catcher. They're different. They'll spread the ball around. That's why they have both had 10 touchdowns or whatever it was a year or so ago. All those are 6 run values. Those are great. But the guy that I really want to talk about is RJ Harvey. Now, I know chance isn't as high on him, but I think Harvey is going to get fed the ball a ton this year in this Sean Payton offense. Now, you have to be careful. Sean Payton has hyped up everyone on his offense. He's talked about Evans. He's talked about Pat Bryant. He's talked about Mims. He's talked about Franklin. Right? Everybody's, they're great. They're going to be part of it. But I really do think Harvey is the guy. They really studied him and really were looking at him. He's explosive. And in the 6th round, it's a steal. I was able to pick him up in the 6th round last night in our draft, and I'm super ecstatic. My running backs I'm pretty loaded, I feel like, with Bucky, Harvey, Henderson. I forget who the other one was. But I feel really, really good about that running back room, as well as have London and Neighbors as my receivers. So I'm super excited. Harvey's probably a little bit too low in this ranking for me, but I would 100% get Harvey in the 6th round. If he fell to me anywhere in the 6th round, I'm taking him.
Yeah, I think all this tier is just like ideal picks 4-0 RB. Like these are really, really good targets in the 6th round. I think they're all really good RB2s. Pacheco is going to be the one. David Montgomery is going to get a lot of toe. RJ Harvey should. I think he'll just be late. Then Tony Pollard. Tajay Spears hurt, guys. Tony Pollard is going to get carries. Cam Ward is not a running quarterback. If people tell you Cam Ward is a running quarterback, he is not that. The Titans offense will be significantly better with Cam Ward at the helm. Tony Pollard will get better stats. He will get touchdown opportunities because of that. Yet Tajay is hurt. Tony is a very good value. I don't think for the most part people will draft him in the 6th. I think realistically you maybe get him in the 7th or 8th.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, people are sleeping on Pollard, and I'm okay if he's your RB3. 100%. Great, love it. I have no problems with that. So, other players that we like, and this is in no particular order, even though we have them listed. I want to be very, very clear on that. So, why don't you talk about number 25? Because we mentioned that out at the beginning of the show here, and it's like, man, so where is this coming? He is going undrafted right now in drafts. So.
Guys, if you're playing in Garage Leagues and you've drafted already, pause this video, go to your waivers, search for him right now, and if he is not picked up, pick him right now. Okay, unpause the video. Okay, let's go. He needs to be drafted. Like, I am good in the 10th round, like maybe late till like later. They are shopping Brian Robinson as we speak. They are trying to get off of him. He's on his last year of his contract. Austin Eckler will never be the RB1 here. He is specifically in a passing game role. Jacory did play wide receiver. Like, he is that guy. He does catch the ball. It seems like they found a gem. This running back class, no matter how it was going to go, good running backs were going to fall. In 2 years ago draft class, Jacory might have been a 3rd-round pick. There was so many good running backs in this draft. It's absolutely absurd. Same with tight ends. It feels really similar. There's just a lot of good rookie tight ends, and there's a ton of good rookie running backs. This kid could be Bucky this year. That's just what it is. He can finish top 10 super easy. He's going to catch the ball. Washington will be a good offense. Just pick him. Like, no matter, like, do not look at your Q. Do not look at ADP. Once you start getting to those double-digit rounds, he needs to get picked.
Yeah, so I have 2 things here. One, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go pick him up on my waiver wires, and then I'll come back. So, no, I'm just kidding. And then the second thing you brought about tight ends, big shout out to Colston Loveland, right? Our 208 guy. 2 catches today for 26 yards in the first quarter. First 2 catches, nailed it. So, shout out to you, Colston. Keep it going, man. Appreciate you. I agree with you. Go get him. Go get Merritt. That's enough said. I am also a big Tank Bigsby guy. Tank Bigsby, to me, is the better running back. I think he's better than Etienne myself. And I think that offense is going to be significantly better than what it's been. There's more weapons there. But Tank Bigsby, to me, is the running back to own in Jacksonville. Go get him. We got Aaron Jones on here a little bit. It's old man Aaron Jones, and we don't have him in, really our top 24. He kind of goes, but, you'll see Jordan Mason down there at 32. Which one would you rather have? You want Aaron Jones or Mason?
I'd much rather have Jordan Mason at the price. 10th round is a steal. I mean, Aaron Jones, you guys saw our 6th round running backs. It's a Pacheco or Aaron Jones, David Montgomery or Aaron Jones, like RJ Harvey or Aaron Jones. Like 10th round, like you're just trying to get dudes. Like you're just taking shots at that rate. Jordan Mason's a good bet. He showed that in San Francisco. They traded for Jordan Mason. They wanted him. Okay, so again, I'm not going to bet on Aaron Jones. I'm going to bet on Jordan Mason.
Yep. Caleb Johnson this is where I know we differ on that. You're not on the Caleb Johnson train. I think Caleb Johnson was the best fit for the Steelers. That was the best place for him to go in the entire National Football League in that running. He fits that system really, really well. 7th round, I get split. If I can get him a little bit later than the 7th, I feel better about it. Or at least I don't want him as my RB2. I want him as my RB3 with a lot of upside. So 7th round, depending on who your construct looks like, I'm not really interested in like I said, a number 2, but 3 I'm okay with. See how your draft falls. Maybe 7th round is a good spot, but I'd like him just a little bit later. Another guy, Jaden Blue in the 12th round. Tell me who the running back is for Dallas. So understand where that's at.
I think it's Javonte. That's just the way it's
Yeah.
coming out. I think either way, I think all three of them are going to get run, whether that's Javonte, Miles, or Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue is the rookie. So obviously he probably has the most upside. Javonte has not been the same since his serious knee injury, but he is getting most of the first team reps. Either way, I think it's going to be a crapshoot. That's why, again, I've mentioned it a couple times. I really hope Dallas just goes out and trades for a guy. If it's Brees, woo, give me Brees all day.
That changes. Yep, agreed.
Brees will go up in my rankings. If it's Travis Etienne will jump up in my rankings. And then same thing with Brian Robinson. So,
yeah. And Jaden Blue, look, you're spending a 12th round pick or later. Some people don't even know who he is, right? You put him on near the end of your draft and with huge upside, which is possible. Travis Etienne, again, right there with Bigsby. Somebody's got to run the ball. They're probably closer than what I think it is, but to me, Bigsby's better. And I'd rather have the 12th round pick over the 9th round pick for sure. Zach Charbonnet, we already alluded to it. Zach Charbonnet is a very good running back. 10th round is an absolute steal if you can get him, especially if you already have Walker. You have that entire backfield for Seattle all wrapped up. We just hope there's not a ton of timeshare, but get them both. And again, Jordan Mason, we already talked about. You can get him cheaper in the 10th round than you can for Aaron Jones, and much younger and probably a better runner at this point. And then at the very end, DeAndre Swift, 5th round. We've got him on this list. I probably am fading Swift for a 5th rounder in general. I'm just like, but he probably will be the guy running the ball at least early on. If you do pick him up in the 5th, I told you guys this last year. Swift is one of those guys who's going to get you some yards early, and then he'll fade, right? And he didn't really do that last year. He did decent. But it feels like might be where he goes this year. If you pick him up in the 5th, you might be able to trade him later. I'm beginning to like Roschon better in this offense. It
sounds very much like Roschon is his David Montgomery. I don't know who his Jahmyr Gibbs is. His Jahmyr Gibbs might be DJ Moore.
Or they just haven't found it yet, right?
Or it might be Manun guy. I don't know.
Yeah, but exactly. I agree.
The DeAndre Swift stuff is so weird to me because, like as much as you want to draft RB2s in the 5th round, like, he just doesn't have any upside, guys. Like, he will probably finish, which he always has, as an RB21. That's not fun. That's his ceiling.
No.
Like, his ceiling is RB18. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, don't draft guys like that. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do.
Those guys are week-to-week guys. One week they have an explosive week, the next week they're horrible. And it you're like, there's no consistency. It drives you nuts. And that's what Swift is. Justin's 100% right. Trust me, I'm a Bears fan. Bears fan. It's going to be interesting. Go ahead.
This Bears offense is going to be good. Like, I don't care the preseason wise, like the Caleb Williams stuff. Ben Johnson's a good coach. Like, he might be Kevin O'Connell. And, like, you guys know how I feel about Kevin O'Connell. Like, he just might make bad players good. He might just put them in their best position. Is Caleb Williams the answer? I don't know. Could he pivot off of him? Absolutely. But I know there will be production in this offense. I hope he takes his running back next year. But like Matt said, like, Roschon feels like he has a role, which is the 3rd down back and the red zone back, which that's where you're getting your money. That's where you're getting your money in half PPR or PPR. And I don't think Roschon's getting drafted right now. He is very late. He's a guy I loved out of Texas. He was Bijan's backup. I think he didn't get as much pub. If Bijan wasn't at Texas, he was somewhere else. I think Roschon would have went a lot higher and had a lot more draft capital. Again, Matt said this a couple times. Ben Johnson has gotten off Swift already. He's done it before.
Yep, I agree. What's interesting about the Bears, well, actually, let me wrap this up real fast before I kind of get to the next one. You guys agree or disagree with the rankings? I think we even disagreed with our own rankings a little bit, but hey, let us know how we did. What are your guys' thoughts? Leave a comment, ask questions, and we can kind of go from there. So we certainly love having you join the show. Justin, kind of you alluded to it a little bit with the Bears, but the Bears draft a couple of years ago were about to draft Charbonnet, and Seattle got him right before them. And then this last year, it happened again with Henderson. You're like, man, I can only imagine. Can you imagine just this year if the Bears were able to get Henderson?
It's the Lions
one
again.
pick away.
It's the Lions again. It's just
It
scary.
would have been, yes, it is. And I know they got Luther Burton, and that's a great pick. But if somehow they would have grabbed Henderson there, oh my gosh, for the Bears, it would have been just incredibly.
But the thing is,
Wow.
it's like the Bears.
So-
The Bears have weapons. They have DJ Moore. They
do.
have
They
Rome.
do.
Who Rome has been getting a lot of flack. And Zacchaeus looks really good right now. He was really good in Atlanta. He's a good player. He could probably be a
28
third
years
wide
old.
receiver. They have Cole Kmet. They have freaking Colson. Like, this team is going to be good. Their offensive line, they invested probably over $120 million in it with Joe Thuney and Drew Dahlman. And they traded for Jonah Jackson, I believe, from the Rams. Like, they invested a ton of money into the interior O-line. Like, this team's going to be good. I don't know where it's going to go week to week, which is a little scary.
Yeah, I agree.
But, like, DJ Moore, he is more than confident wide receiver. Rome is very undervalued right now. Again, if you can get, like, honestly, at the end of drafts, I'm going to get Roschon and I'm going to get Bill. Those are the two guys I'm going to get. I'm not going to draft a defense. I'm not going to draft a kicker. I don't play any leagues with kickers because I think that's absurd. But those are the two picks that I'm going to go with because they're big splash plays. Or I could just cut them after 2 weeks. I don't care.
I think if there's two guys for the Bears that I would want, Caleb's a deep flyer for me just because I got a soft spot for the Bears. But really, the two guys are probably Roschon and DJ Moore. I feel like DJ Moore is going to get a ton. If he's the one consistency, if there's one guy that I think the Bears will have a consistent, it will be DJ Moore. I think they're going to move him all over the place and try to get him the ball as much as possible. He's the veteran. Odunze will get his, Colson will get his, but the most consistent guy to me will be DJ Moore, and I think Roschon. I think those are the two guys that I would attack for the Bears. Anyway.
DJ is probably the most similar to Debo that we have in this league. When Debo was balling out, like DJ Moore runs like a running back. He gets some yak. He's stout. He is not a thin dude. Like, he is built pretty well. The fact that they're giving him running back reps is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, and he just turned 28, so This would be the year, right? So again, Caleb had a couple of good throws today. Just watching him, I was like, wow, he threw a couple of just on-time throws that I haven't seen in the last year. I was like, he was missing stuff last year, and I was like, wow, okay. So anyway, we'd go on and on about the Bears and the Falcons all day long. I did draft last night. I'm gonna go ahead and just maybe I'll pull it up.
Pull it up. Let's talk about it.
Again, this is one of our garage leagues. So I was able to get, I was 12. I was a 12th over pick, 12-man PPR. So understand that. I was able to get, I was a back-to-back. Neighbors fell and Drake London was there. So I went Neighbors and Drake London. And again, so let me back up. This is a half PPR, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, flex, quarterback. And we actually put a couple defensive players in this one as well. And we do a kicker. Sorry, Justin. Kicker and a defense. So he's shaking his head. But again, like I said, so I was able to get Neighbors in London. And then coming back around, I was surprised that Bucky fell. So then I was able to get Bucky.
He usually does it in 12 teams.
Right. And so I was able to get Bucky and Travion Henderson. And then in 5 and 6, I was able to get RJ Harvey and Travis Hunter. So I like that setup. To me, that's and of course, when I picked Travis Hunter, there was about 4 guys that were like, oh, that's who I wanted, but I knew it wasn't going to come back to me. That is the core of my team. My tight end, I really, really waited on tight end. Really waited. Ended up getting Dalton Kincaid, which we'll see. It's mid. We were high on him out of camp. It sounds like he's doing pretty well. He's elevated. On my bench, I was able to get Judkins. I was able to get Sampson. So I got them backed up. We still don't know what the Browns backfield is yet. I don't really know, but I do like Sampson, and I know Judkins, all the charges have been dropped. So he's a little bit behind, but I think he'll pick up. I think he's got a higher floor than Sampson. I was able to pick up Trey Benson. And then a couple of guys that I know you'll like for sure. I did get Jaden Higgins out of Houston.
Yep.
And I picked up your guy. I should say our guy. I got Ibuka as well. So
Heck yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was able to snag him. So I really like my wide receiver room. I was Trey Harris
Yeah,
and
that's
Dante
a that's a
Thornton is
that's a
yeah.
nasty wide receiver room.
So we're really I'm liking it now. My quarterback, like I said, right now is Dak Prescott and Tua, which I don't really like.
Who was your tight end?
Right now it's Dalton Kincaid, which I got pretty late. I was like, okay, I'm all right with it. I already had an offer for, and again, I'm a big Penix guys. I'm a big fan for Penix, and that's okay. But I'm somebody wanted RJ Harvey, and they said, well, I'll give you Penix for RJ Harvey, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. Even if I were to package somebody, he'd have to give me more than just Penix. As much as I love Penix, who could be a top 12 quarterback. So it was a lot of fun. We had a blast, a bunch of friends just kind of kicking around, having a good time, having dinner and drafting. The old fashioned way. Nobody likes to get together and draft anymore.
I love those.
But it is the best.
Nobody can use a computer. Like, you bring your rankings, you get on the board. Like, you gotta pay attention. Like, those are the fun ones.
So we do have a computer program where we can draft. We show up on the TV and whatnot, but no stickers. We're past the sticker era. But yeah, we certainly loved getting together. I agree with you. I think we've kind of missed the days of getting all the guys together and drafting. I think that's a big one. So
it's a good time.
Anyway. And so I have another draft this next weekend, the weekend after that. I know, Justin, you have some as well. If we get the opportunity, maybe we'll share those. We'll pop on real quick and just, if it's a computer one, we'll draft and show you what's kind of going on. It'll be a lot of fun. Probably not this next one, but maybe the one in 2 weeks, I have a draft. It is a 10-man league, so we can have some fun with that. It's kind of late, but it'll be fun.
Stack team.
But make sure you're joining. So we have a sleeper show coming up. We have a couple more mock drafts we want to do because we're right in the thick of it. So make sure you guys are dialed in and tuned in to our next shows for sure. Justin, anything to add before we sign out for the evening?
Yeah, I think those two guys that me and Matt have really hammered on, Roshan and then Jacory, Merritt, I think those are two guys you got to have. Again, just watch out for the trade stuff that I think will happen. A sneaky one that I was thinking about is, what if the Bears went out and got Brees? I know Matt would love it. I don't think it's gonna cost as much as people think. Maybe a 4th or a 5th round pick. But the way they're treating these running backs are showcases, like Brees and Travis. It doesn't feel like they're playing in games to play games. It feels like, hey, league, this is what we have. Come and get it. So just be aware of that. I would love to see just be aware of trades that are going on.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We will see you next time. Like I always say, from this time to next time, we'll see you then. How's that? Have a good night, everybody, and we'll talk soon. Later, everyone.